Hello and welcome to Mystical Adventures. My name is Anne, and I'm so delighted you joined me today, whenever you're tuning in. Welcome. We're going to go on an adventure today, and I can't wait to get started. How is your Mercury Retrograde going? I hope that you were moving backward to move forward, my friend. The planet of communication, travel, and technology is retrograde, feels like a backwards motion to the earth. And so sometimes these areas of life can go a little bit different than planned. And I hope that your Mercury retrograde time is productive. I'm having fun with it, doing some reviewing and reflecting. We have gotten a lot of snow here in New England, and it really does make one It's easier to turn inward when it's very snowy and cold out. It's easier to go through that natural cycle. We're going to be talking about cycles and divine cycles, divine order today in the show, and manifestation, how it can help you to manifest. So I'm excited to explore that with you, a topic I've discussed before. And I just want to, before we get into today's show, remind you that February 23rd, I'm going to have my fabulous friend and colleague, Christine French, on. She's an energy coach, very gifted, intuitive, and she's going to talk to us about the energies of 2021, how to work with these energies, how to make the best of them for creating your best year possible. So I can't wait for that. And actually, after that show, that's February 23rd, I'm going to be doing another Facebook Live at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time in the States. So hop on right after the show, and I'll be on Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Creative Psyche Studio. And I'm going to do a March 2021 zodiac reading by sign, not using astrology, but I'm going to tune into each sign intuitively and pull a few cards and tell you what energy and messages and guidance I get for each zodiac sign. So don't miss that. That's 2 weeks from today on February 23rd. Without further ado, let's switch gears and reveal the spirit helper for this week of February 9th, 2021. Are you getting an intuitive picture of who the spirit helper is? Maybe you're using your own intuition and already saw this spirit helper. I'll give you a hint. There is a Beatles song about this spirit animal. It is the octopus. Sacred octopus spirit animal visited me before the show. And the Beatles wrote a song. This is a little bit before my time, but I love the Beatles so much. The Beatles are timeless people. So the Beatles wrote a song, Octopus's Garden. I'd like to be under the sea. These are some of the lyrics. In an octopus garden, in the shade, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. That sounded disrespectful to the Beatles in this song. What I just meant to say is, moving to deeper in the lyrics, we hear, we would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves. And he talks about being hidden. That's, looking for the other lyrics. Okay, I can't find it, but it's about being hidden. And the octopus spirit animal is about camouflage and secrets. And octopus is associated with a few other things. You might notice these themes come up this week because this is a spirit helper for the energies of the upcoming week. So you might notice the following things come up that are associated with octopus. So camouflage, secrets, multitasking, the number 8 in numerology, which is associated with work and money and finance and abundance, flexibility, adaptability, intelligence, and overcoming obstacles. So Octopus has the following message to share with us for the week ahead. Sometimes it's worth the wait. You can create your dreams and visions and projects by allowing a natural process to unfold. Here at the bottom of the sea, we take our work seriously. However, we know how to work with the natural ebb and flow of this world. I see how to flow with what comes to me and how to work with the rhythms of the sea instead of forcing my own structure and plan against of or in spite of the great ecosystem around me, which already has a perfect plan and order and harmony. You may find you can use your higher awareness to utilize the resources already being presented to you in such a way that you can create through allowing. It is not about getting things done in a certain way. It is about trusting the process that naturally unfolds. Use your resources around you. Use your wits, but in a different way. To find what you are looking for, take a moment and let the image appear in your mind first. Let your mind to start working on a problem, even when you're not consciously aware or focusing on it. Allow your mind to do the work for you. Use the part of your mind that is open and free to find a solution. You will find you will break through barriers easier this way. Thank you, sacred octopus spirit animal. Like most weeks, the message from the spirit helper has a lot to do with my talk for the evening. And tonight I am going to be discussing divine order and tuning in, tapping into this divine order and flow so that you can overcome obstacles like the octopus is so great at doing. You can catch your prey like the octopus is so talented at doing. The octopus camouflages himself or herself not only to hide from predators, to hide from the animals that want to eat her, but she camouflages herself so the prey that she wants to eat don't see her and she's able to pounce on it. So that might be an important message for this week is the first part of this message was sometimes it's worth the wait. So I feel octopus is guiding us to be patient, and we might need to hide or camouflage ourselves. We might need to keep a low profile, to take a step back before we make a step forward, before we take action. And it might be helpful to you to remember this, as well as what Octopus is telling us about attuning ourselves to the natural ebb and flow and tuning into the divine order in order to overcome obstacles. So, divine order. Do you feel a chaos or lack of direction in your life? Do you feel disconnected from spirit? We're in a time of isolation, which can highlight a lot of these feelings of chaos and isolation. Sometimes we respond to feeling lack of control by overcompensating and using some perfectionistic tendencies or trying to control everything. And this, of course, can lead to more problems and disconnection and frustration. So how do we tune into this divine order and help and support to manifest blessings in our life that's already swirling around us? Well, as you may have guessed, it's not through trying to control everything, my friend. The more we over control and hold on so tightly and try and assert our dominance over every detail, the more we squeeze out the room for the divine to come through. So let's talk about how we can tap into this divine flow, divine order, and what it is. I talk about it in my blog this month. If you'd like to visit my website and read about it, that's creativepsychestudio.com. Psyche is spelled Psyche, creativepsychestudio.com, and just click on my blog and I write more about this. Sacred geometry and harmonious patterns, numbers, and ratios that we find all throughout nature is something I talk about in the blog. And don't worry, I'll talk about more than what I just talked about in the blog. This isn't just a repeat of the text and content from the blog, but I do talk about the divine order found in nature, the Fibonacci sequence. There are certain ratios and shapes that you can find all throughout nature, and scientists have been studying these for many, many years. Dating back to ancient times, Plato talked about these natural harmonies, and there was actually this phrase called the music of the spheres, which dates back to the time of Plato, when philosophers were interested in the divine order and the ratios of the planets, and believed that it created some type of harmony, some type of mysterious harmony, and that there was this natural order. And I talk about in my blog that the divine order you can see in nature, and also how you can see it in the creative process. You can see it in the process of the cosmos, the orbiting of the planets, the creation of galaxies, the creation of animals in the human form, and how there seems to be this intelligence and this certain order, this certain blueprint that you can find throughout our universe. I want to read to you something that Quincy Jones has said. Quincy Jones is an incredibly gifted musician. There's a couple of documentaries about him and his career, and he helped launch some of the albums of the greatest artists in the past 50 years, 100 years, including Stevie Wonder. I think he worked with Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, so many countless people. He worked with Sinatra, and he was a musician in his own right, but also a composer and producer. So he worked with some of the most talented, creative musicians in the world, and he is quoted as saying several times, many times, you have to leave room for God to walk in the room. And he would tell the people that he's working with, water break. It's important to stay hydrated because probably can't understand me as well. My voice is super scratchy, so thank you for understanding. You have to leave room for God to walk in the room. What did he mean by that? What he was talking about was not over controlling the creative process and allowing some space in your mind and your heart as you create to allow coincidences, spontaneity, playfulness to come through. Don't try too hard. Don't overuse your analytical mind. Julia Cameron, in her book, The Artist's Way, talks about dealing with the inner critic for writers and artists and musicians, any kind of creative, that you have to deal with your inner critic. And she has some fabulous techniques for helping creatives to shift out of the inner critic, to journal and do different writing techniques to help meet the inner critic's needs, but then to kind of help the inner critic settle down, simmer down, quiet down, so that your imagination and your playful side, your creative, intuitive right brain can come through. And your sacred imagination is really a doorway to this higher consciousness, to God, if you will. I believe that's what Quincy Jones was talking about in part, to let your imagination be part of the process, not just your analytical mind, to play with it, to give some space to the process. And the idea that the order, the divine order, comes through our heart space, not our head space, that our intuition, our heart is where true divine consciousness comes through. And it's really the job of our analytical minds, our inner critics, our ego, to be in service of that divine consciousness. So here's where the divine order comes in. In order to allow the divine order to work through our lives, we must let go. We must surrender to the divine. We must allow the natural process in our creative process, in our relationships, in our finances, in our career, in our spirituality, in our health. We must allow this order to be able to express. And it's a loving order. It's not a rigid order. It's not the kind of order that would oppress or squeeze the life energy and the love out of whatever it's working through. It's the kind of order that allows the structure and allows the process to unfold, and we can dance with that divine order and use it to allow it to work its ratios and its shapes and its process in our life. We might not understand what the best next step is or the best solution to the problem is. So allowing ourselves to shift over to that heart-centered consciousness, to our imagination, those are some ways to, and I'm going to go over a few other specific ways that you can experiment with opening the door to divine order. But those are some functions of your psyche, your imagination, and your emotions, where you can allow this energy to come through. Carl Rogers is a leading figure in psychotherapy, in modern psychotherapy, and he created what's known as person-centered therapy, psychotherapy. And he created this whole system for working with clients in which, instead of trying to analyze their unconscious or tell them what to do or tell them how they needed to change their life in order to live more happy lives, he would simply witness his clients. He would simply empathically witness who he was working with and validate what they were saying. And by doing this, he would activate this divine creative process in the person. He truly believed that humans have a natural tendency towards healing and well-being. And by just witnessing the person and validating their experience, he would assist them in going through this natural process of healing. So witnessing the process, allowing it to unfold. Here are a few ways you can surrender and allow the divine order, or kind of experiment this week if you'd like. So instead of trying to come up with a solution to a problem mentally, try meditating on it, putting yourself in a meditative state, and then in that state, allow what feelings, images, words want to come through and make note of them. Very similarly, pray. Say a prayer and ask for an answer, and then forget about it for a few days and see what events and ideas come to you. Do something creative. Ask your inner critic to shut up for a minute and just play and be imaginative for a few minutes. Purposefully leave a project unfinished, if you can, and see what comes through as you leave that blank space. See if God walks through the door. I have a notice from my producer that we do have a caller. So have fun with experimenting with divine order and allowing this week. Let's switch over to a fabulous fun time in the show when I get to take a caller and tune in. I have Helena from England on the line. Hello, Helena. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Hi. Welcome to my show. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Good.
How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, so how can I help you tonight? Would you like a general reading? Do you have a specific question?
Yeah, Valentine's love reading, please.
Did you say you want a love reading?
Yes, a Valentine's one.
A Valentine's love reading, sure. Let me just tune into your energy, and I'll tell you what I get before I draw some cards.
Okay, that's great.
Well, when I tune into your energy, I get a strong feeling of motherhood. Either you are a mother, or you have a lot of nurturing in your energy that is very important to what you're dealing with right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I'm just picking that up in general when I'm tuning into your energy, Helena. And I'm also feeling like you are searching for clarity in your love life. You really want to plan something. You want to use your intention moving forward in your love life in a much more powerful way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what am I picking up about the mothering? Is what's going on with you and the mother energy?
Yeah, I am a mother.
You're a mother. So yeah, and that's a really important part of your life. And I feel that you are focusing on that, or that's a big part of your life at this current moment. And that might be, part of your journey with your love life.
Yeah.
So tuning into, right? So tuning into, because that's part of our family and our energy and our our package, right? So let's get
Yeah.
into your love energy. Valentine's Day is coming up. Well, I feel like love is very important to you is the first thing I'm getting, Helena, that you don't like to be alone. You really prefer to be in a relationship. And it's very important to you to have a fulfilling romantic partner. More than, some people it's not so important, but for you it is very important. And I see you really focusing your attention on creating that.
Yes.
I feel like one of the things that Spirit is bringing up is you have this beautiful, nurturing, loving, sensitive energy, Helena. Very fun. I see you as like very fun loving, the life of the party, and you care very much for others, and you have just this beautiful, sweet, loving energy about you. And I think also your focus and your ability to focus your mind and your will is another strength of yours, my friend. I am hearing that it might help you to be a little bit more patient in when you're clarifying what you want in your love life, to be clear but also be patient. And I was talking today about leaving room for God to walk through the door. And so opening yourself to the timing might not be exactly how you want it to be, with how you want things to come together in your love life, but you definitely have, I think, beautiful energy around you, and I think you're moving in the direction of creating more love in your life, but just sort of using more patience and flexibility and adaptability with when you meet people, to just allow them to show themselves to you over time, instead of like making a really quick decision if you feel like they're.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as you meet people, just taking it one step at a time and realizing that sometimes you don't see someone's true self until some time passes by. And I feel like Spirit is saying you're moving in the right direction and towards creating the love you want to create. And it seems like maybe there hasn't been anyone in a while, but I do think there will be some people in the next few months here. I do feel like you feeling nurtured and you feeling secure is a really big factor to you attracting the right person. So being sure to take care of yourself, being sure to, I feel like your children might be a big factor here as well, that you're feeling like they're taken care of, you're taken care of, and that you're sort of already nurtured and fulfilled. And when we can nurture and fulfill ourselves, we're in the perfect position to then be able to have the nurturing to give other people. Like when our cup is full, it's running over and we have a surplus to give to other people. So Spirit is saying that could really help you in your love life, to make sure that you're being patient, allowing, the natural timing to unfold with your love life, but also making sure that you're doing the things you need to do to ground yourself.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you feel grounded lately? Do you feel nurtured? Yeah.
No.
So there you go. With that, might be a really big positive change you could make to get in alignment with how Spirit wants to bring you your next love. Excuse me. What could you do you think, Helena, to nurture yourself and ground yourself right now?
Yeah, take care of myself more.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're so sensitive and loving. And sometimes, when we have that we're wired that way, it's easier for us to focus on other people and caring for other people, or to get distracted, But I think the more you're able to not focus so much on other people and find a way to take care of your mind, body, spirit, you're going to find people react to you differently. You're going to attract more people that you are interested in. That's working with the laws of the universe. Like attracts like. I pulled the Lover's card for you, which is the best card you can pull, basically, for a love spread. So you're, I think, doing really good work in clarifying what you want and attracting it to you. I think you're going to go through a period in the next few months where you're focused on yourself and nurturing yourself. Here's the Nine of Pentacles, which is about nurturing yourself and meeting your own needs and making your own octopus's garden under the sea of abundance and pleasure and fulfillment and love. And as you create this garden around yourself to do what you need to do to nurture your body, mind, spirit, you're going to find that your people are interacting with you differently. And I do think that you will be poised. It's very possible to attract what you want to.
Yeah.
So, Helena, I so appreciate you calling in. I really hope that was helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. And I hope you have a blessed week. Thank you again so much.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
And thank you so much, viewers and listeners, for tuning in tonight. It has been an absolute delight to go on this adventure with you. I hope you feel the positive energy of your angels and guides and the beautiful octopus adaptability and camouflage and abundance this week. Don't forget, I'm doing the Facebook Live on the 23rd. That's also when I'm interviewing my fabulous guest, Christine French. And check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Same name, Creative Psyche Studio, where I have the February zodiac readings you can still check out, and the guided meditation I put up there for the month of February. So thanks again so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful, blessed week, your own mystical adventure of a week, and I will see you next time. Take care.